Hello there, guys. Today I am recording a speed build for you guys. I recorded this yesterday, before the Let's Play build or Let's Play went live. But this is my second time recording the speed build audio. I really didn't want to have to use Clipchamp for this, but Lightworks distorted my audio, so, I guess I'm gonna have to go with, Clipchamp. I'm not liking it, but, this is the point in the video in which I try to apply terrain paint over the, this, like, little piece of grass or something, and it just decides to not, be like delete itself, and so I continue to delete plants. And I just decide to ignore this weird plant thing in the middle of my lot and go ahead and build next to it. And I try to build like a sort of like rectangular house. I I know there's like a lot of Sims builders that can do a lot better things with their builds. But I live in a pretty rectangular house and it works fine for me. Yeah. So, by the way, if you don't know me already, this is Byret Games. The specific alter is Shoto. We are a non-disordered system and we do Paralives pretty much for fun right now. I mean, we have a Ko-Fi, but it's not like we advertise it readily. We have it like on like more low-key places, and so we don't get any sort of like donations or anything. We're just doing this for fun, for now. But I end up making this a three-bedroom house, and I give them like a sort of hierarchy because I end up deciding that the dad in this Let's Play is conservative around this time, and yes, I know the son out in the front has a skirt. I end up if you've watched the Let's Play associated with this, you know that at a certain point I decide that the son is like not going to wear that, so I change his outfit. Um but I actually end up deciding this while building the house. So I end up putting a yellow door outside of the um house, and or like to enter the house, and I end up making the entire house on the outside that same color. Because who doesn't love a yellow house? What, like, we should bring back, like, colorful houses, honestly. Who doesn't want to live in a colorful house? If you don't want, like, I don't know. Maybe this is, like, childish, but I do really like color in houses. Um, but, yeah. If it sounds like I've been, like, crying, it's because I got really frightened by that distorted audio. Um, but, yeah, I'm like terrified of glitches, which I shouldn't be playing Paralyzed if that's the case, but it's whatever. Like the glitches are not that scary and Paralyzed, unlike The Sims. Um, but I end up putting the windows on the house after, coloring the house and the roof and all of that. And you saw that I like started with the horizontal separated one, but then I guess I just kind of decide it's ugly and move on to greener pastures. And by greener pastures, I mean a better window. The one that's like not crazy looking. But I put it there, and I keep putting the windows in, and while I put the windows in, I don't know. But did you know that glass was actually not introduced to Europe until the late Middle Ages, maybe even the Renaissance? Yeah, I found that out a while back. And it was like people had these like delusions that they were like made of glass. Because glass is kind of scary, not gonna lie. It's like you can get like if you've never experienced glass before, I can see why it's kind of scary. And yeah, and so kind of feel bad about that actually, but I mean it was like 500 years ago, so there's nothing I can do except build the living room. Now the living room is I decide to make it beige. Who doesn't want I'm just kidding. I'm not a beige person. I fucking hate beige actually, but I decide that that's probably what the dad would want for his den. And so I make pretty much all of the furniture except like the end tables, which are colored the same as the wood frames and stuff, at least a little bit beige, right? Like to match the walls. And so like I I end up I look at the TV for a second and decide it's too expensive. Now I am trying to save money using this build. I do not want to have to use cheats. Right? So I I put in the TV and I always have like this little mistake. I think this is kind of a system-wide thing, but we always have like this mistake where we accidentally like put the desk or like the TV console in the wrong way and then we have to go in and rotate it back to the correct way. So that's fun. Um but we put a door or not a door, an archway, and we put the doors in after we build the living room because we're like, wait, why didn't we put doors in? Why didn't I put doors in? So sorry if you see me jumping around a lot. We have ADHD and it just kind of gets like that sometimes. But I decided to add a splash of color in the desks. Now I originally put one desk, but decide it's two children doing homework, so I should probably do one long desk and then put two desk chairs and computers. I do make them identical because let's face it, people are kind of weird about twins until like they're teenagers. Like when it comes to like parenting them, like putting them all identical and stuff. So a lot of the identical stuff is just like left over from like when they were kids. Right? So I'm all over the hardwood before deciding to keep it the same, and I end up making the kitchen and dining room area teal. The whole thing. I don't know what possessed me to do this. I think maybe I did that because I decided that the mom likes teal or something. But you can kind of start to see how I just kind of start to put it into everything. And I kind of headcanon that maybe this is like how the mom like keeps control over her space because like this is the kitchen. Tradwives are gonna tradwife, and usually it's like sometime, well, not usually because like there are some tradwives out there who choose to do it, but like it takes a specific person, right? And a lot of women are forced into it by outside forces, including men. So obviously, I'm making the mom like extremely mentally ill and like possibly a wine mom. Like you can see later in the video that I make the welcome mat like say like this is wine country y'all or something like that. That's the first thing I thought of that a conservative would actually like put at their on their uh welcome mat because all the things I saw were too like internet culture and I don't feel like the teens would have control over that. So, and again, I color the microwave teal and then realize I accidentally colored just the door teal. Yeah, I don't know what possessed me to do that, but color the sink teal as well. They already had a teal color, so but I guess that teal color might have been too dark for me. I don't know. But I I see the cabinets and I decide they're too muted. So I go ahead and brighten them up. And so then at this point, I start dragging them. And then I notice that if they clip into the wall, they're too wide. And so I try to get the standing cabinet to work as like a long cabinet. Or like not a long cabinet, but a thin cabinet. And so I try super duper hard to get it to work. And then I realize it's not going to get any thinner. So I have to make the cabinets and the walls uneven. And I end up deciding that's good enough. And now people are probably going to yell at me in the comments if they're watching this far. So that's fun. But, yeah. I go through the cabinets before deciding that, and I didn't end up making the cabinets uneven. I made the bottom cabinets uneven. Important distinction. Or I guess maybe not cabinets, it would be counters, I guess. But anyways, I put in the very cheap wooden table, and then decide, well, that only has one seat. And so I take the plastic table, very much like what you'd see in your southern grandma's house, color it teal again, and then paint the chairs teal. And so then I go and I paint the hallway, and I keep it just bare bones, nothing in it, because, there might come a time where I have no space for things, so I want to put them in the hallway. And so then I decide the parents' room's theme is orange. Orange is close enough to beige. So maybe it's their compromise. Maybe it's their little splash of color. But, of course, the bed, I decided to make the throw blankets orange. The bed, olive green. By the way, I just want you to know, olive green is the worst color. Except maybe lime green. I like warm greens, alright. Olive and lime can suck an egg. Genuinely. But anyways, I make the brother's room blue because it's like they wanted a boy, but they got like a twin situation, and so like yeah, so obviously I end up coloring. I end up getting like this like bed that's labeled the Midnight Rester, because I feel like that's something an edgy teenage boy would have, let's be real. If it's labeled the Midnight Rester or something, you know your local edgy teenage boy is going to have it. Maybe even an edgy teenage girl if she's into Twilight, but maybe not Twilight, maybe just anything super supernatural, or like just anything kind of strange. But anyways, I start designing the girls' room, and I end up deciding that the place used to be the office space before the girl naturally outgrew sharing a bedroom with her brother. And so I end up deciding that the brother and the sister are also going to have differences in what kind of beds they sleep in, because I decide the brother is going to sleep in a like a fancy double bed, and then that the sister is going to sleep in a single bed, because parents of this type tend to be very like, I'll chase you out with a gun if you ever sleep with my daughter sort of thing, right? Crazy parents, I get it. I don't get it, actually. Why? But I don't get it. Actually, I don't know why I said I get it. I don't get it. Why do this? But for Paras, I am playing this type of thing with my Paras because it is realistic. And so I end up taking I end up putting carpeting in the bedrooms and then tile in the bathroom, and I put all the things in the bathroom. And I also put a hardwood on the floor in the bedroom because I think they would have corporate blue hardwood in the former office space turned sister's bedroom. And then I put a bathtub that can also be a shower. And then I put another shower right next to it. Don't know why. I just did. Maybe that's like their one little thing of richness. But anyways, at this point I realize that the house is still bare bones and I have plenty of money. So I put the welcome mat down and I realized that that welcome mat is in Paralives, so I put it in English and I start trying to figure out what they would put on their their welcome mat, and then I end up settling with I think it's wine country, y'all, or something like that. But I really think on it for a long time. I was not raised conservative. I'm like 2 generations away from the like maybe even 3 generations away from the nearest conservative in my family. So I end up putting it's wine country out here. Um and then I move on and put rugs in other parts of the house, like the uh like the bedrooms. And so I end up getting this already kind of green and putting it in the ugly green shade that the bed is in, and I realize that I can't make it longer, but I can size it up in general, and so that's what I do. And then I do the same for the boys' room, except I make the the uh, the rug the same as the sheets, and I get a slightly more expensive rug because I just feel like that's something they would do for their son, you know? Casually playing favoritism, you know? And then leave it to a Todoroki interject to fuck with the daughter some more. As in like give her a really shitty looking rug. I feel like this would probably be like a hand me down or something. But god, is it hideous. Why did I do this to them? Whatever. I save the game and yeah, and then I put in some lights. I don't know why I saved before putting in the lights. I didn't need to. I guess I just felt like it. And then I put the lights in the bedroom and the bathroom, and this is where the video starts to end, right? So, um I put some lamps down into this, and you'll notice if you've watched a Let's Play before this, you'll know that I forgot to put in dressers, and so have to do that during the Let's Play. Um, but I try to put a lamp twice in the bathroom above the toilet, but it just disappears. So I undo those and then add a lamp that does not disappear. And so then I look at the money and decide I've done enough spending, which was false. And then that's it for the video. Like and subscribe.